Introducing the Rhombus AHR16 and AHR8, powerful automation modules designed for seamless integration with Crestron Home systems. Whether for luxury apartments or hotel rooms, these devices offer flexibility, reliability, and advanced control. The AHR16 is perfect for complex setups with features like relays for high-power control, PWM outputs for precise dimming, analog and digital outputs, and temperature sensor inputs. For simpler projects, the compact AHR8 delivers the same trusted quality in a streamlined package. Rhombus Europe and Onyo Interactive have partnered to bring you the future of smart automation. Stay tuned to see how these modules can transform your space.
Welcome to this video, where we will guide you through configuring Crestron Home to maximize communication with the Rhombus AHR16 device. In this project, we will use 4 devices, one Crestron CP4-R, 2 Rhombus AHR16 units, and 1 Rhombus dimmer. The Crestron CP4-R will be connected to the network, along with Unit 1 of the AHR16. Following that, we will create a serial chain between the 2 Rhombus AHR16 units. Unit 1 in the chain will act as the master, connected to the network while simultaneously outputting a serial signal through its COM port 3, also known as the chain out port. Unit 2 in the chain will then connect to COM port 2, also referred to as chain in. Additionally, the Rhombus dimmer device will be connected to COM port 5 of Unit 2 via the RS485 port. With this setup, only one Rhombus AHR16 license is required for the master device, which we will purchase and generate in the next section. This configuration ensures access to 32 relays, 16 temperature inputs, 48 digital inputs that can be used for switches, 8 digital and analog outputs, and 16 PWM outputs for RGBW or other LED configurations. It also provides 6 dimmable lighting outputs. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete understanding of how to set up and utilize this system efficiently. The Crestron Home driver can be purchased from the website store.onyointeractive.com. From the list of available drivers, select the AHR16 driver. This will take you to the checkout page where you need to provide your details and payment information. It's crucial to enter the correct email address, as the next steps in the process will be sent to this email. Once the purchase is complete, you will receive an email with further instructions. Open the email, copy the order ID, and click on the Generate License link provided. This will redirect you to the license generation page. Here, you need to enter the same email address used for the purchase, as well as the order number copied from the email. After entering the correct details, click on Check Order. On the next page, you will be prompted to enter the serial number of the device. It's essential to input the correct serial number, as corrections will not be accepted later. The license can only be generated once and is non-transferable. After entering the correct serial number of the Rhombus device, click on Submit. If everything is correct, a new button labeled Submit All will appear. Click on this button and confirm that the serial number entered is accurate. This action will trigger the license to be sent to your email address. To begin configuring Crestron Home with the Rhombus device, we use the Crestron Home setup software. After connecting to the processor, navigate to Pair Devices. In this step, we select the room where the device will be added, choose drivers, then platform, then Rhombus, and finally select the Rhombus AHR16. We click the plus button to add the device and assign a descriptive name. In the TCP IP settings, the IP port must be set to 1001, and the correct IP address of the device needs to be entered. On the next configuration page, we carefully input the necessary details. Since we are using the AHR16, the device type is set to 2. Because we are chaining two AHR16 devices, we enter 2 for the number of units in the chain. For testing purposes, as we are using only one dimmer port, we set the number of dimmers in the chain to 1. Next, we add the license that was generated in the previous section. It is crucial to ensure the license is copied exactly, as even the smallest discrepancy will result in errors. Once the license is added, we click Next and allow the configuration to be applied. After the device is added, we wait briefly for it to establish communication with the Crestron Home processor and verify the license. If everything is correct, the status will update to online. To confirm a successful setup, we navigate to the Managed Platforms section in the root folder. Here we verify the extensions created, which depend on the number of devices and dimmers in the chain. In our case, there should be 202 items. By completing this step, we ensure that the platform is properly added, the communication is established, and the license is valid. In the next steps, we will begin integrating the extensions responsible for the system's functionality. In this example, we will configure an analog output for a ceiling fan connected to port 4 on Unit 1 and dimmable lights connected to port 1 on Unit 2, as shown in the reference diagram. Let's walk through how to set this up in Crestron Home Setup. To begin, open Manage Platforms and select the Rhombus device we added earlier. First, we'll add the ceiling fan. Start by selecting any generic analog out and clicking the plus button. Assign a descriptive name, such as ceiling fan. Based on the diagram, the fan is connected to Unit 1, so we set the daisy chain to 1. The input number is 4, and for show relay on homepage, we leave it as 0 since we don't want this device to appear on the homepage. Click Next to proceed. On the next page, set the use case to fan, which corresponds to number 2. For slider type, select segmented, and for device name, enter ceiling fan. Click Next to finalize the setup. The device will now appear in the app where you can interact with it. Clicking on its tile toggles the fan on or off, and using the 3 dots in the menu allows you to adjust the fan speed. Next, we'll configure the dimmable lights by adding another analog out extension. Click the plus button and assign a name like Discrete Lights. Using the same diagram as a reference, set the daisy chain to 2 and the input number to 1. For ramp time, choose 10 seconds, which determines how long it takes for the lights to transition from 0% to 100% brightness. Once configured, the app will display the Discrete Lights extension under Lights, allowing for smooth control over the lighting. In this example, we'll configure a light switch connected to digital input 8 on Unit 1 to control the lighting we previously added. In the Crestron Home Setup application, navigate to Manage Platforms, locate any digital input, and click the plus button to add it. Name the input Light Switch, and in the installation settings, set the daisy chain to 1 and the input number to 8. With this step, the digital input is added to the system, but it won't perform any actions until we assign one. To do this, go to the Action and Events section and locate the room where the digital input was added. In our case, this is the library. Select the Light Switch folder, where you'll see 2 possible actions, pressed and released, as expected. For the pressed action, set the mode to sequence and find the lights you wish to control. You'll notice 2 discrete lights options. One allows for simple commands like full on and full off, while the other lets you set a specific brightness level. Select Set Level and assign a level of 0.7, corresponding to 70% brightness. For the released action, follow a similar process, but set the level to 0. This setup ensures that when the switch is pressed, the light operates at 70% brightness, and when released, it turns off completely. You can see this functionality demonstrated in this practical example. In this example, we'll configure a digital output connected to output 3 on Unit 2, which controls an external irrigation system, as shown in the diagram. In the Crestron Home Setup application, navigate to Managed Platforms, locate any digital output, and click the plus button to add it. Name the output Irrigation System, and in the installation settings, set the daisy chain to 2 and the output number to 3. For the icon, select number 6, which corresponds to the irrigation type. Since we want this action to appear on the home page, set Show on Home Page to 1. With this setup, the digital output is now added to the system. It can be used as part of a larger scene or for simple on and off states, as demonstrated in this practical example. In this example, we will configure 2 relays, one as a generic type for controlling a door, and the other as a light type for managing a lamp. As shown in the diagram, the door is connected to relay 8 on Unit 1, while the lamp is connected to relay 13 on Unit 2. In the Crestron Home Setup application, navigate to Manage Platforms, locate any generic relay, and click the plus button to add it. Name this relay Door, and in the installation settings, set the daisy chain to 1 and the input number to 8. For the icon, select number 7, which corresponds to the door type. Since we don't want this action to appear on the home page, set Show on Home Page to 0. Next, to add the light relay, locate any light relay and click the plus button. Name this relay Library Light. And set the daisy chain to 2 and the input number to 13 in the installation settings. With these steps, we've added 2 relays with different functionalities to our system. The generic relay can be part of a larger scene or used for simple on and off control. The light relay, integrated into the system's lighting scenes, can naturally combine with other lighting extensions to create more complex configurations. In this example, we'll configure a light dimmer using an additional rhombus device. The Rhombus AHR16 DIMM, which features 6 dimmer ports. Since the dimmer is connected to Unit 2 via COM port 5, which is RS485 protocol, it requires a unique ID for communication. Multiple dimmers can be connected in parallel to this port, each with its own ID. In our case, we're using a dimmer with ID 2, and the dimmer port in use is port 4. In the Crestron Home Setup application, navigate to Managed Platforms, locate any dimmer extension, and click the plus button to add it. Name the dimmer Dimmable Light, and in the installation settings, set the daisy chain to 2, AHR16 COM port to 5, DIM port to 4, and device ID to 2, as referenced in the diagram. For ramp time, select 10 seconds, meaning it will take 10 seconds to transition from 0% to 100% brightness. Since this extension is categorized as a light, it automatically appears in the Lights section of the app and integrates seamlessly into the lighting system. This allows for full control, scene assignment, and operation like any other lighting extension. In this example, we will explore the full potential of PWM outputs, which can be used for motor speed control, such as a fan, or for adjusting LED lighting. PWM outputs support 4 types of LED configurations: single-color LED strips, dual white, RGB, and RGBW. In this setup, we'll utilize all 5 use cases. A fan will be connected to PWM output 1 on unit 1. A single LED strip will connect to PWM output 3, while dual white LEDs will use outputs 7 and 8 on unit 1. On unit 2, RGB lighting will use outputs 1, 2, and 3, and RGBW will use outputs 5, 6, 7, and 8. In the Crestron Home setup application, navigate to Manage Platforms, locate a generic PWM extension, and click the plus button to add it. Name the first extension PWM Fan, and in the installation settings, set daisy chain to 1, input number to 1, and show on home page to 0. On the next page, set the use case to 2 for a fan, the slider type to 2 for continuous control, and the device name to PWM Fan. For the LED strip, name the extension single color and set daisy chain to 1, port number to 3, and ramp time to 10 seconds. Next, we'll add the dual white extension, naming it dual white. Set daisy chain to 1, cool white to port 7, and warm white to port 8. Adjust the temperature range to match the device's specifications, such as 3000 Kelvin for the minimum and 6500 Kelvin for the maximum, with a ramp time of 10 seconds. Moving to Unit 2, add an RGB light named RGB Light. Set daisy chain to 2 and assign red, green, and blue to ports 1, 2, and 3 respectively, with a ramp time of 10 seconds. Finally, add the RGBW light, naming it RGBW Light. Set daisy chain to 2 and assign red, green, blue, and white to ports 5, 6, 7, and 8, respectively, again with a ramp time of 10 seconds. In the Crestron app, all extensions except the generic PWM fan will appear in the Lights section as they are categorized as lighting devices. The fan can be controlled via its tile in the app using the advanced settings accessible through the 3-dot menu. Lights extensions in the app provide additional features. Dual white enables control over color temperature, while RGB and RGBW offer full color and saturation control alongside standard lighting functions. This configuration demonstrates the powerful versatility of Crestron Home for managing PWM outputs, particularly for lighting, a central feature of the system. In this example, we'll explore the full functionality of the thermostat feature. To use this effectively, at least one temperature sensor and one relay are required, depending on the application. In our case, we will use 2 temperature sensors to average their readings for better accuracy, along with 2 relays, one for cooling and one for heating. This setup allows the user to set a desired room temperature, and the heater or cooler will activate as needed to maintain it. The thermostat can also be turned off when not required. Additionally, an analog output can be used to connect a fan or other device for operation alongside the HVAC system. Let's add the thermostat to our application. In the Crestron Home Setup application, navigate to Manage Platforms, locate a thermostat extension, and click the plus button to add it. We will use the name Thermostat. In the installation settings, set the daisy chain for the temperature sensors to 1. Enter the input numbers for the sensors as two numbers separated by a comma, i.e. 1, 8. For the heat relay, set the unit number to 2 and the port to 11, and for the cool relay, set the unit number to 2 and the port to 12. Keep the temperature unit in Fahrenheit by entering F. Since we are using two relays, select Auto Mode, making the thermostat type 1. Set Show on Homepage to 0 and leave the analog slider and other values at 0, as we are not using an analog output in this example. In the app, the thermostat appears as a tile that can be used to toggle it on or off. For advanced settings, click the three-dot menu to view the current room temperature and set the desired temperature. When the room temperature exceeds the desired value, the cooler activates, and when it drops below the set value, the heater turns on. This configuration highlights the powerful capabilities of the Crestron Home application, where the thermostat serves as a critical feature for smart home climate control. In this section, we'll highlight the powerful automation capabilities offered by the Crestron Home system and Rhombus extensions. Every extension includes its own events and parameters, enabling seamless automation between devices configured in Crestron Home or external triggers for Rhombus extensions. With thousands of potential use cases, the possibilities are virtually limitless. While we'll demonstrate a couple of examples here, we encourage you to explore the full potential of this robust driver. Additionally, if you notice an opportunity to add new events or expose specific parameters in your setup, feel free to contact us. We're always open to feedback and happy to improve the driver. You can find our contact details in the description below. For our first example, we'll set up an automation where locking the door turns off all the lights, and unlocking it turns on all the lights in the library. To achieve this, go to Actions and Events in Crestron Home Setup and locate the Door folder within Library. Select the event Relay State and click on it. On the right-hand side, click If, and then use the drop-down menu under Select Target. Scroll to the Door folder, add the relay state, and leave it as true. This sets the logic to, if the relay state in the library is true, do one action, otherwise do another. Under If, we select All On from the lighting scenes, and under Else, we select All Off. In the app, you'll see that locking the door turns all the lights off, while unlocking it turns them back on, restoring their previous brightness levels. For the second example, we'll set up a rule where if the temperature exceeds 75 degrees Fahrenheit, two fans turn on, and if it drops below 75, the fans turn off. Start by finding the thermostat on the left-hand side as it holds the temperature value. In the thermostat folder, select Property Changed Event for Fahrenheit and click If on the right-hand side. Under the target, choose Thermostat, then select Current Temperature in Fahrenheit. Set the operator to greater than and the value to 75, then click OK. Under If, navigate to the library, select the ceiling fan, and set its output level to 100%. Repeat this for the PWM fan. Under Else, set the fan levels to 0. In the app, you'll see the fans turn off when the temperature is below 75 degrees and automatically activate once it exceeds 75. And that concludes this video. We wish you the best in exploring the full potential of this powerful device. With this driver, we're confident that your smart home will be enriched with exciting new features. See you in the next video.